Okay, I really didn't mean for this book haul to get this big. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, I'm Andrew, and today guys, we have got a book haul here for you for April of 2024, but before we get into this book haul, please like this video and subscribe to the channel, as it does help the channel grow, and you can check the description box down below for links to all my social media and links to the Patreon, the Discord, and all the other places that you can find me at. And with that out of the way, we've got kind of a general kind of channel update, I guess is what we're gonna talk about this. Some updates to my review policy and things of that nature. So first off, you're probably looking at the camera, or the video, I should say, not the camera. I'm looking at the camera, you're looking at the video and going, well, the lighting looks different, the aspect ratio looks different, like you're more zoomed out. It's because I've switched back to my phone for a little bit. I've been a little unhappy with how the filming on this camera has been going. I'm not happy with the lighting. I need to talk to somebody about getting this kind of lighting on this camera, because on this camera it's more washed out. I don't know how to do color correction or anything like that. So if you know how to fix all of that, please let me know. And as well, like, I feel like I'm too zoomed in on that camera, and I like the way it kind of zooms out and I can hold things in frame better and you can see it a little better. So I'm kind of switching to my phone for a little bit while I try and figure out some more things with my camera. But I will switch back to the camera, don't worry. Also, review policy. I'm no longer accepting review copies, but that doesn't mean you can't send me your book. So here's basically where I'm currently at. I've got a lot of review copies and I just can't get to them all anymore. So I'm no longer accepting physical review copies. If you want to send me your book to showcase here on the channel, please let me know in the comments down below. I could potentially sign up for a P.O. box to be included in kind of the description box, where you could go in there and find the P.O. box to send me your books if you want it showcased in a book haul or on a short or something like that. But also, like, if you do want that, please consider signing up for the Patreon. It's right here. And because that does cost money, I've got some kind of mounting costs. I am wanting to kind of get some graphic design help with merch, potentially when the channel hits 10K. Probably next year. My laptop's got a weird rattling noise in it whenever I open and close the laptop. So I'm currently pooling my Patreon money, and I don't really have money for a P.O. box right now. So if you want to support the channel and sign up for the Patreon, I can potentially start allocating money to basically a monthly fee for a P.O. box if you want to send me books. Or in the description box down below, or in the about section of the channel, there is my email address, and you can always send me your EPUB copy from there. I'll check it monthly, I'll download them, and basically I'll talk about them in book hauls, because I want to kind of follow what Mike does on his channel. Is I want to shout out about indie. I want to promote your book. I just may not be able to read it in a timely fashion. So that's kind of the update to the review policy. Is I'm kind of not doing review copies, but I am willing to promote indie still. Now I've got a lot of books here, and I do have some review copies that I accepted before the cutoff. So we're going to kind of talk about that as well. Where to start? I've got so many books. You know what? Let's just start right here. It's easy. No, you know what? Let's do digital. So digitally, I picked up Seeds of War by João F. Silva on audiobook. I also got an audio arc for Gravesong by Pirate Abba. This one is getting ready to release. I believe by the time you see this, it will have released. I've listened to a couple sections of this. Andrea Parsnow kills it. So does the narrator for João F. Silva, Seeds of War. Fantastic narrations on both of those books. I then got two EPUB review copies. That is Callus and Crow by D.B. Rook. This kind of gives me a Western fantasy vibe with some horror elements I'm very excited for. And I got Company of the Wolf by David Ragg. This one comes out in a few months. This is a sequel to The Hunters. And oddly enough, I don't own any David Ragg yet. I need to fix that. I need to get some physical copies of David Ragg, because I do enjoy me some David Ragg books. So hopefully I'll get the Company of the Wolf read here within the 4 months, so that I can then promote that on the channel, because I did enjoy The Hunters. Quick editing cut in, because I forgot one of my digital purchases, which is not okay. I definitely want to shine a light on this one, and it is Lost Souls by Ryan Skeffington. This one I've already started. I'm about 2 to 3 chapters in. I'm intrigued. It's got a little bit more of a darker note to it, but it's also set on a ring world. cool sci-fi, starts out really dark. I'm in love with this one, and I'm very excited to kind of read through the whole thing so I can give you my full thoughts on it later down the road. But that is Lost Souls by Ryan Skeffington. That's the digital stuff out of the way. I do believe. I could have missed something. It happens. Anyway, physical books. We've got Lightbringer in its entirety, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, I failed to pick up one book. There we go. In its entirety. Now, these are the new covers, and these are the UK ones. So, in out of order, we've got The Bloodmere by Brent Weeks. And the reason I picked this one up is because pre-BookTube, I was reading this series, and I got about 1.5 books into it. Here's The Broken Eye. And then BookTube just kind of shoved it to the side, and I unhauled my copies, and I never came back to it. We've got The Blinding Knife. I believe this is where I'm currently at, but I'm planning on restarting the series. Nico constantly talks about this series and how he thinks it's underrated. We've got The Black Prism. This is the one I have read. There we go. And we've got The Burning White, which is the controversial conclusion to the series. So we shall see how I feel about that. Now, let's just gently pull this off. I have been meaning to come back to Dune for a while, and I know Folio dropped their Dune Messiah. But at the same time, like, I used to have this edition of Dune, and I believe I gave it to a buddy. So my good friend Evie from She Was Only Evie was very kind and resent me this edition of Dune so that I could have a matching set. It's got these gorgeous sprayed edges, beautiful end papers, and I believe it's a reversible dust jacket. Semi-reversible? I don't know. It's got art on the inside of the dust jacket, as you can see there, like on the flip side. Gorgeous copy of Dune. And I'm starting to kind of just be like okay with having duplicates on my shelves. I love Dune, and frankly, I've been meaning to come back to Dune for so long. I promised Evie that I would finish it, and darn it, Evie, I'm a man of my word. Here's Dune Messiah. Gorgeous sprayed edges, some different art. I have read this one as well. I read Dune Messiah forever ago. I don't know why I'm leaning all the way back to put it on the shelf. And of course, you knew we were going to talk about Children of Dune, which is the one I'm hoping to read in about a month to a month and a half from showing you this video. I've been meaning to read Children of Dune forever. I hear it's really, really good, and I'm just excited to try it. So there is that. Then I've got, of course, some more Ray Bradbury collections. And this is Quicker Than the Eye, and this is Driving Blind. But this isn't the only Ray Bradbury I've got to show you, because I splurged a little bit. I had some birthday money left over. In fact, I had a lot of birthday money left over for this haul. Specifically, some of them were in the forms of Half Price Books gift cards. And we've got this gorgeous edition right here. This is a bind-up of 2 collections by Ray Bradbury. This is R is for Rocket and S is for Space. And don't worry, I'm going to take it out. This was from PS Publishing, and this is artist signed, not signed by Bradbury, but artist signed. And I think I'm just a Ray Bradbury fanboy at this point, and so I'm going to try and collect as much as I possibly can. I do want to get Machineries for Joy, but that one's very hard to get a hold of. There was a PS Publishing edition of it, but again, that's like $200, and I'm just like, like, this was already pretty expensive. Not $200, but it was a pricey endeavor. But I'm happy to have it on the shelf now. I just love Ray Bradbury, and so I'm wanting to explore more of his work. And a quick last-second cut-in. We have got this that just arrived right under the wire. This is the Broken Binding edition of Never Die by Rob J. Hayes. And this is, I believe, from the Broken Binding Press. This is signed and numbered by Rob J. Hayes. I've been wanting something signed by Rob J. Hayes in my collection, and now I have it. This is a stunning edition. I do have a mild critique on this one. It's got gorgeous end papers. But this is the first book I've seen from the Broken Binding that was Mylar wrapped, which I love when I get books that are Mylar wrapped. This was full of dust, though. I don't know where the dust came from, but when I was getting the dust out, I got some dings and nicks in my dust jacket, so that is kind of regrettable. But other than that, like, I love the art. There's tons of illustrations in here. I don't really want to talk about what this illustrations kind of signify, but This thing is just absolutely stunning, and I've been told that the Broken Binding is going to be doing editions of Pawn's Gambit and Spirits of Vengeance as well. Sorry, so I'll be adding those to my shelf when they are available, because frankly, I'm in love with this. And then I mentioned in my last book haul, before I forget, that I had bought some books that had arrived damaged from Amazon. Shocker, right? So I got those replacements in the mail, and we've got them right here. We've got the Rasker Plains. This is book 2 of the Immortal Great Souls. I'm about 20% into book 1, and I really like it. I'm not loving it yet, but I do like it. This is the Rasker Plains by Phil Tucker. This is a progression, kind of hell fantasy, as far as I can tell at this point. And then, of course, I got more J.A. Andrews. I do intend to pick up the Keeper Chronicles Omnibus Edition. It's just got this gorgeous art on it, but I haven't picked that up yet because it's about $30, but it will be added to my collection here soon. We've got book number 1, ? Yes, Dragon's Reach. This is the Keeper Origins and Raven's Ruin by J.A. Andrews. Gorgeous books. Can't wait to get into more J.A. Andrews. I just think she is so awesome. And then I got a little sentimental, but I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money because, again, Folio has fantastic editions of these. And I was like, okay. So I unhauled my copy that is basically the origin point for this channel. That's American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I initially joined Nico's Discord server. Nico's the one who got me to jump in front of this camera and create content here on YouTube. And I was like, you know what? I want to honor that kind of buddy read that started everything. And I want to read a Nazi Boys. Well, Barnes & Noble used to have this edition. And for about $30, I could still get it on eBay. So this is a bind-up of American Gods and a Nazi Boys by Neil Gaiman. And Nico and I are talking about doing a buddy read of a Nazi Boys. We both have it on our shelves. And it just seems fitting to do that. If you want a buddy read on the Discord channel, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll open up a buddy read, and we can do a buddy read on the Discord. It's been a while since we've done one of those. And yeah, I like Neil Gaiman enough that I'm fairly confident that I'm going to enjoy a Nazi Boys. Even though I didn't love American Gods. I will preface that. Okay, we've got 2 stacks of books left. One of them I'm just going to call John from Talking Stories' fault. But let's move over to here first. So I did have a couple things left over from my birthday book haul, and this is one of them. This is I, Jedi by, I believe, Michael Stackpole. And this follows Cornhorn, who I really enjoyed reading he was a side character in the Star Wars books that I read kind of growing up. And so my buddy Dan got me this for my birthday. He also 3D printed me a Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII. This is Cloud's sword. He also 3D printed this kind of cool book spreader. It kind of, you stick your finger in there and it holds the book open. I've seen wooden ones of these. I think I've got some of these somewhere in a box somewhere that hasn't been unpacked or hasn't been opened since I moved into this house 2 years ago. You always have 3 or 4 boxes that you just never unpack. It happens, whatever. I've got some more indie fantasy to talk about as well. We've got The Spirit Well by R.K. Ashwick. I've got a book review for book 1 of this. You can check it out right there. I really enjoyed this book. It was so cozy, and at the same time, I liked all the characters, so I'm excited to see what book 2 has in store. That is The Spirit Well. This is book 1 in Lute Song, and yes, book 1 was very good. And then this one's been all over the place. We've got Mushroom Blues by Adrian M. Gibson with a cover by Felix Ortiz. And man, this is supposed to be fungal punk noir police procedural fantasy stuff. That already sounds crazy, and that sounds like something I want to read. So yes, we have got that there. And then, of course, I was going to pick up more Sebastian de Castell, Play of Shadows. This is Court of Shadows, book 1, set in the world of the Greatcoats. I don't know when I'm going to come back to this series, but I do know I want to come back to Sebastian de Castell. It's one of the first series I buddy read on somebody else's Discord when I first joined BookTube. I just have a lot of love for Sebastian de Castell, so I want to check this one out. Gorgeous cover, though. When I saw it online, I didn't know if I was going to love it, but when it showed up, it's legit. It's good. Okay. Then, yeah, we've got some Kickstarter stuff to show here. We've got Wraithmark Creatives' Sufficiently Advanced Magic, and I have read this book, and I love this book. It is absolutely gorgeous with these stunning Gilded Edge. However, I'm getting kind of tired and burnt out on Gilded Edge for the specific reason that the gilding kind of wears off. I don't know if my camera will pick it up. You can see there's a rub away right there on this edition, as well as the gilding kind of oversprayed onto the back end sheets and tore the paper. And I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there's a light sheen right there where there is gold overspray. So there is some damage on this book. This book was not cheap, but again, for what I'm getting, this book is just absolutely stunning. And I'm a crazy person when it comes to nitpicking expensive books. But this book is stunning. Wraithmark Creative did a fantastic job, and I'm so happy to have this. I hope they do, like, book number 2. Now, granted, it took, like, a year to fulfill that one, so I don't know if they're going to continue with the series, but I would love it if they did. And then this is not the final version, but I believe the campaign will already be over. It's been a very successful campaign. We've got The First Step in 1,000 Li by Tao Wong. This is the Influencer edition. It has some formatting issues that need to be fixed. The final product is going to be like a thicker book. They're going to add in sewn-in ribbon, more illustrations and stuff like that, but another gilded one with a satin shiny finish, reversible dust jacket. I prefer this art, mainly because of the title. I just like it at the top instead of on the side for the kind of default. And man, like, I am excited for the final edition of this book because it's going to have some amazing art. But yes, this is fantastic. I'm loving 1,000 Li. In fact, I think I'm on book 8. So I'm just tearing through this series. It's going to be, I believe, a 12-book series, and that is going to be really freaking cool. And then we've got some physical review copies to talk about. The last ones that I have accepted here on the channel. And we have got The Exile of Zanzibar by Daniel Maidman. Now, the reason I accepted this one is when I was a part of SPF B09 on Team Bookborn, this was allocated to our group. And I believe it was read by my buddy Pete from the Ponderings of Pete. And while we were reading, he was like, yeah, it's pretty good. Like, it's solid. Like, I'm enjoying it. And so when Daniel reached out to me, I was like, you know what? Sure. Why not? Let's do it. Let's see what all the fuss is about. Somebody I trust has already enjoyed the book. And yes, The Exile of Zanzibar with just a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. Let's get in on that cover a little bit because it is exquisitely stunning. And then in preparation for the third book releasing in this series, Will of the Wayfinder, we have got Dust of Dreams and River of Stars by Lily Ann Crow. I accepted these because they just sound really cool. I know my BookTube big sister Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative really enjoys this series, and so I decided on basically her enjoyment to accept these review copies. So I'm very excited to get to those. Now we've got the stack that I'm going to label John's fault. John, you know what you did, and I love you for it. Now, this one is, I bought this because of John. Kind of. So the story is I pre-ordered Disquiet Gods. This is book number 6 in The Sun Eater by Christopher Rocchio. And it arrived from Amazon damaged. So I sent it back. And then they sent a replacement copy. And then John drops a video that says, hey, by the way, Quail Ridge Books in North Carolina, I believe is where they're at, has signed copies online. He went there. He interviewed Christopher Rocchio. Fantastic video. One of the most entertaining BookTube videos I've watched in quite a long time. And so I decided to return the copy that I got from Amazon and order from Quail Ridge Books instead, and I received Disquiet Gods signed. And I can't wait to get to this. I'm currently finishing out The Ashes of Man and having a lot of fun with it. But wait! There's more I can lay at John's feet. We've got 1. We've got 2. We've got 3. We've got 4? 4 books that I went to Half Price Books, and they jumped straight off the shelf at me, and I was like, you know what? John's been talking about these books for forever. And yeah, we've just got a stack of them right here. We've got Song for Our Bone by Guy Gavriel. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. It's a well-loved copy, but man, enough people that I trust are talking about GGK that I want to try GGK. And it was either between Lions of Alverson or Song for Our Bone, and John really enjoyed this one. So I was like, I saw it on the shelf. I was like, you know what? Why not? I had a gift card. I decided to pick it up. Then John has also been talking about Jonathan Mayberry's Kagan the Damned. Now, I know this is vampire, horror, Lovecraftian fantasy. which isn't usually my bag. But again, half-price books, I had a gift card. I figured why not? I'd give it a shot. And then the same for the next two books as well. We've got Empire of the Damned and Empire of the Vampire in the American version. And what's really weird is this is a very thick book. And you would think, oh, this is a much thicker book. No, this is a 700-page book. And the paper is wafer thin. I mean, like, this is almost Bible-style paper where it's just so thin. This is 730 pages. That doesn't look like 730 pages. And I feel like they kind of cut some costs on the printing of this, which I don't quite appreciate because I feel like it should have been chunky like this one. And I don't particularly love the cover art of these editions, but again, gift card, it was in front of me. I decided to pick them up. Again, vampires, fantasy, lewdness, craziness, lots of swearing. I don't know if it's going to be for me, but I figured I'd give it a shot. And then you would think, oh, Andrew, you're done with this book haul, right? No, I'm not. Of course I'm not. Of course I'm not. We've got An Alchemy of Masks and Mirrors. I know 3 or 4 people that I trust, like Alan, Leslie, Megan from Megan's Reading Revelations have all read this, all enjoyed it, and I was like, what am I missing out on? Princesses, steampunk, airships. I figured I'd check it out. This is book 1 of the Risen Kingdoms, and that was at Half Price Books. And they also had book number 3, The Last Uncharted Sky. I don't have book number 2, but hopefully if I like the series, I can fill in the gaps in my collection. And I'm not even done, guys. I got The Sword Defiant by Gareth Hanrahan. I unhauled The Gutter Prayer after having it on my shelf for like 2 years, and I couldn't quite get into it, but I figured I want to give Gareth Hanrahan another shot. I've heard a lot of good things about this series, and I figured, why not? Again, all of these books that I've mentioned in the last like 3 to 4 minutes, half-price books. I walked out with a Amazon box that was this big. They didn't even offer me a bag. They were like, would you like a box? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I haven't taken this many books home from half-price books in a long time. And then this is based off of Mike's recommendation. This is At the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. I know he got an astounding edition of this. It was like a manuscript, author's handwritten note kind of edition. And it just got me curious. And they had this short, very readable copy at Half Price Books. And I figured, why not? I've been wanting to check out H.P. Lovecraft. And instead of buying a huge collection, I could just buy At the Mountains of Madness and see if it's for me. And then this last one is Nico's Fault. Again, half-price books, but it was on the shelf. And we've got The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. He says that a lot of people on BookTube say that this is fantasy, romance, and that the romance is just kind of light and it's really not all that heavy. And I figured, why not? I'll try it out. If I like it, I'll continue the series. We did a video when I was there visiting with him, and he kind of explained the premise of like, there's like a plant-based magic and people can be like turned into plants or something like that. I'm kind of vaguely recalling that, and it just sounded really cool, so I picked this one up as well. Now, you would think, that's the end of the book haul, right? Well, yes and no. My Shock headphones that I've been using for the last 1.5 to 2 years busted, and I just don't have the funds to replace them with a matching pair. So I got something similar. These are not bone conduction headphones. You can see that they've kind of got these little speakers on them, and they sit over the ear and play music into them. And I like them enough. These are edifiers. And so I figured I would give them a try. They've got a 17-hour battery life. They connect very well. The sound quality is fairly good. I wouldn't say it's top tier sound quality, but it's good enough for audiobooks. And so I'm giving these a try. And they just kind of sit, kind of just like that. You connect them, you're ready for your audiobooks. That is the end of my book haul. Please let me know what you think of some of my pickups. What are some of your recent pickups? Again, if you do want me to open up a P.O. box, please consider signing up for the Patreon. It would be much appreciated. The support is always appreciated. I also want to just give a huge thank you to all of my patrons. You just make this so much easier on me in terms of equipment repair, paying graphic designers, things of that nature. All of that goes back into the channel or into the collection, and it is always greatly appreciated. But that, guys, is all I've really got for you today. I hope you are doing well. Until next time, peace out. Stay magical. Bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons. Thank you for supporting my passion and my hobby. It means the world to me.